Thank you. This is Monty once again from DPL Surveillance Equipment. We really like to hear that applause when people come in with the applause, and that wakes me up and gets me going. So, thanks again. As I mentioned before, nothing like a resounding applause when we get up in the mornings. Well, there you go again. Today we're coming to you. What is this day? Friday morning, and I'm preparing my typical concoction of Shilajit and Himalayan salt and bentonite clays, etc., etc. Oregano oils. These are certain concoctions that we drink in the morning. Get us going, clean out the systems, provide essential trace minerals and nutrients. Something we do every day. So, thank you, and I suggest you guys do it too, as much as possible, because with all of the excessive farming and lack of nutrients that we're getting, and the foods and the vegetables and the hormones and the antibiotics and all that, really takes its toll out on your body. So, having said all that, we're a full-service surveillance and security equipment company. We have lifetime guarantees and warranties on all the products. Thank you. We have 24/7, 365 tech sales and customer support. And we have the largest video library, bar none, where you're going to be able to go and peruse the demonstration videos. Watch us demonstrate the bug detectors. Watch us demonstrate nanny cameras, listening devices, etc., etc. GPS trackers. And I got to make a little bit of noise, so bear with me. This is kind of important. This session is really important, and I want to get this out there, but I want to prepare my concoctions as well. And we also have a layaway program for those who want to finance the purchases of your state-of-the-art law enforcement grade bug detectors and everything that we offer. If you want to finance that, use the layaway program. Use the rent-to-own program so that you can try out the products before you even buy them. We try to help you guys out in a number of different ways to be able to afford the products and make sure you get them in your hands. The same products that law enforcement, private investigators use and all of that. You can get that in your hands as well. Okay? So, having said that, let's see, what are we talking about today? Oh yeah, if you have any questions, give us a call, 888-344-3742, 888-344-3742. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, we have a huge and growing articles library. In the articles library, we talk about everything imaginable. Targeted individuals are going to read about that and learn what that means, confirm their suspicions. People who have been electronically harassed are going to go there, and they're going to find out more about targeted individuals and what's going on there with the government corporations harassing people and targeting them at the same time. So that's an eye-opener for a lot of people. Electrical hypersensitivity, a new phenomenon that's going on where their bodies are reacting and responding to, unfortunately, negatively responding to the smart meters and the microwaves and the radiation coming from every conceivable angle. We talk about a lot, that in terms of what's going on lately and new discoveries and new research in those areas. What else? Speaking of articles, we talk about some very esoteric things. And let me see. One thing that we talk about, for instance, amongst all the others, is things going on in with the world of physics and astrophysics. There's a particular astrophysicist, a theoretical physicist that I like to listen to, in addition to a lot of others. One individual's name, his name is Michio Kaku. Okay, Michio Kaku is probably one of the more popular, if you will, type of physicists. He has radio shows and he's always on YouTube, etc., etc. And one thing that I like that he did a long time ago, of all the things to do, he had a rating system. He came up or talked about the virtues of having a rating system whereby you can find out whether or not a given civilization is advanced or not. Now, I thought this was very compelling because he wants to determine whether or not different civilizations are advanced or not. I'm glad you guys are awake out there. Now, what he's doing is he's basically rates them according to certain criteria, and it basically goes something like this. Not exactly verbatim, but it basically goes something like this. An advanced civilization, there's type 0, type 1, type 2, or 3, okay? Type 3, I think, is the highest. The type 3 civilization, they're actually able to harness or control not only intergalactic travel and manipulate energy from suns, etc., from the sun, they actually have mastered that, so they can travel faster than the speed of light. They can harness the power of a sun or whatever, and that distinguishes them from the others. Let me see if I can find out specifically, just in case. So there's let's see, a type 1 civilization, also called a planetary civilization, can use and store energy which reaches its planet from the neighboring star. A type 2 civilization can harness the total energy of its planet's parent star, the most popular hypothetical concept being the Dyson sphere, a device which would encompass the entire star and transfer its energy to the planets. A type 3 civilization, which is the top, can control energy and the scale of its entire host galaxy. I think this was actually proposed in 1964 by a Soviet astronomer, and Michio Kaku actually popularized this in various discussions. So anyway, if you can control, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we need to rate our civilization, right? Where are we? We can't. We're typically viewed as a type 0, which is unfortunate. Type 0 can't even control our weather, let alone totally harness the power from the sun or control hurricanes or tornadoes or something like this, volcano. That's beyond our control, beyond our capabilities. So we don't even rate as a type 0. It'll be a million years before we reach type 1, and then there's exponential increases going from type 1, 2, and 3. So basically, I'm just saying all of this because we have a long way to go in terms of realizing our fullest potential. And I noticed, because I study, the big thinkers, the Michelangelos and uh, who else? The Einsteins, of course, and um, the various other various other highly advanced big thinkers of our age, and throughout the ages rather, and Leonardo da Vinci is what I'm thinking of. Leonardo da Vinci, Einstein, and Michelangelo, these guys are big thinkers, okay? Um, Leonardo da Vinci has inventions that he came up with which were impractical at the time, and it would take another 2 or 3, 400 years for people to realize how to use some of his inventions. So he was way far ahead of his time. And anyway, every once in a while, see, humanity gets these gifts from such big thinkers, the Einsteins and the other guys, everyone that I mentioned, and we have no idea what to do with them. So I'm going to throw in my tidbit, and no one will have a clue in terms of how to implement it for the good of humanity. It goes something like this. When you have a large body of people on this planet, roughly 6 or 7 billion people, who typically would share empathy towards each other and would be able to coordinate their activities and efforts for the good of humanity itself, that's a positive thing, okay? But it seems like most of the people on this particular planet are so disconnected from each other, are so underutilizing their human potential and capabilities, that what do? They resort to technology. They resort to handing over responsibility for their lives to government agencies and politicians and corporate business owners and such. In other words, people have subrogated their entire lives over to other people who are supposedly more capable. And the reason why I have a problem with this is because, deep within us all, our major life-changing skills and talents and knowledge that we could use for our own benefit, but we don't. Specifically, I was looking at some physicists who were working with brain scanning technology. I think it's called fMRI. Let me see if that's the correct 4 letters. Yeah, functional magnetic resonance imaging. Functional magnetic resonance imaging. I'm seeing that used more and more and more. Every time I see my typical researchers that I like to study, everyone is talking about how they're slicing and dicing the brain into its constituent parts, and they're noticing the very specific areas in terms of what's lighting up, what's reacting to this, and what's controlling that thought, this memory, and all of that. So it looks like these guys are mapping out the brain to the point where they can pretty much nail down the various parts of it that are responsible for certain mental activities and such. And the reason why this is important is because a lot of times we, as individuals, we want to know why we think this way, why we react to this picture, why we respond to that video, why that ad copy on YouTube or Google seems to resonate with us, why this particular speaker or somebody who's speaking in front of an audience seems to communicate more effectively as compared to the other one. And see, a lot of times the brain imaging is used to drill down and let us know exactly what's happening. So anyway, the fMRI is a technology that I think could very well be harnessed to allow us to get a lot of these capabilities back into our own hands under our own responsibility. This is what I propose. Someone needs to take a look at the biofeedback mechanism that could be utilized when you look at a brain scan live, and you are able to determine what it is that you're responding to. In other words, if you're addicted to alcohol or drugs or whatever it is, if you are looking at your brain's activity and you can see what's being activated inside of your brain, you could probably take a look at using the biofeedback mechanism or methodology to control that impulse. Right now, there's at least one company using it in prisons, and the prisoners supposedly will be able to control their impulses using, enough biofeedback from the fMRI machines. But because the machines cost so much money, the prisons have to come up with, these extraordinary budgets to purchase the equipment. Then you train people and all of that. So I'm proposing that we have a cloud-based model whereby the fMRI technology is uploaded to the cloud, like a Amazon Web Services type of methodology, whereby the actual technology is in the cloud, and people are given headsets, so that the headsets are wirelessly connected, maybe by computer and router, like everything else, and then the input goes into the cloud and scanned, and that way we could tell what people are reacting to or responding to. Okay, so again, using a bar graph or something that tells you real time whether or not ad copy, a picture of drugs and alcohol, porn, whatever it is. If you can use the biofeedback to help you understand what you're reacting to, why it is that you are responding to something the way you are, or not responding for that matter, then perhaps people can hone their skills a little bit more, so that they're not so impulsive, not so angry, not so hostile, or whatever it is. But of course, the marketers and the advertisers and the Googles of the world will probably take this technology and abuse it, and just use it as another marketing tool to further control people in terms of, because when you see the frontal cortex region light up as a result of being exposed to some ad of a picture or a car or a model or something, that may be intriguing for people who are selling things like suits and cars or boats or houses or something, whatever it is. So yeah, there's always opportunity for things to be abused, but at the same time, this could be very beneficial. There's something called the Global Consciousness Project. Okay, the Global Consciousness Project is one example whereby you use random number generators scattered throughout the planet, and I'll try to make the connection as quickly and succinctly as possible. The Global Consciousness Project is just another example of people being linked together by something, and people being able to influence or anticipate events that are about to occur. So between people consciously pooling their ability to have empathy towards one another, and influence events or anticipate events, that really shouldn't be taken for granted. But by using the fMRI brain scans, which are live, and combining that with the theory behind the use of the random number generators with the global consciousness projects, we could probably see mankind finally getting to the point where we're dependent, where we're able to utilize the ability to collectively connect with one another and do certain things, whether it be having empathy towards hunger taking place in Africa, wars taking place in other countries. This is my cat, Lacy Bones. He's realizing that it's time to eat, so I gotta feed him. But yeah, the whole idea behind these ramblings that I'm going through right now is just the idea that I'm so dissatisfied with the nature of the interactions between myself and a lot of people who are so far removed from utilizing their advanced skills and intelligences and knowledges. I'm using plural for particular reasons, because knowledge is not just one particular thing. It spans across various disciplines, if you will, and people aren't using very much at all. And it's a disappointment when I'm talking to people who are struggling and economically, psychologically, emotionally, etc., etc. So yeah, if you guys want to take this concept, take this idea, again, of uploading brain scanning technologies into a cloud-based service and connecting the populations of the planet so that we could all see whether or not there's correlations between neighborhoods and cities and states in terms of how people are reacting to, responding to, whether or not they're anticipating certain events or whatever. All of this information could be used to further unravel the thinking mechanisms, the desires that people want and express towards this, that, and the other. I think it could make a major difference. So, anyway, you guys may want to do some further research. Rupert Sheldrake, Rupert, and then Sheldrake, Sheldrake. Dean Radin. Let me see who else. There's a lot of people who are doing significant research into this, into these areas. What's his name? There's a professor out of Canada that's doing some very interesting research when it comes to the brain hemispheres and how we're able to do a number of different things by stimulating the right hemisphere. Actually, I was corresponding by email with this particular individual. Let me see if I can find his name. Okay, Persinger. Michael Persinger, I think it was. Yeah, Michael. It should be Michael Persinger. The last name is Persinger. Michael Persinger came up with the God helmet. And the God helmet actually is designed to stimulate the left and right brain hemispheres. And a lot of his subjects, the people who submitted themselves for study they noticed that they felt an additional presence in the room. Michael Persinger. The people felt a different a presence of God or some entity or something in the room as a result of having the left and right brain stimulated. So anyway, these are just some of the people behind the research, and I've been studying this for a lot of years. I have a lot of articles on my website that have have nothing to do with buying and selling spy gadgets and spy toys, and have everything to do with human potential. So anyway, people need to wake up. You guys need to wake up and realize there are some things going on the planet and the universe, etc., that go beyond earning a living, trying to make a buck. It has all to do with unlocking human potential. Your own DNA is it's underutilized. You're utilizing 10% of your own DNA. It's not even activated, just sitting there waiting to be unlocked and utilized. The universe itself is probably 5% of it is actually accounted for. The other 90 or 95% of it is actually a mystery to a lot of physicists and astronomers, etc., etc. So the world we live in is basically one big giant secret. Even in the 21st century, people still don't have a clue in terms of their own environment, where they live, their own brains, their own potential. It's kind of a major disappointment. So anyway, just want to get that out there. If people can wake up and spend a little bit more time learning about their world, learn about their own bodies, learn about their own human potential, it would be nice. So that when you talk to me, for instance, we could probably go a little bit beyond the typical struggles that people are encountering every day. All right. So anyway, it was a pleasure having this session with you guys, and we look forward to helping you if you have any need for bug detectors, X-ray baggage scanners, nanny cameras, GPS trackers, etc., etc. Give us a call, 888-344-3742. That's 888-344-3742. Okay. And we like to say at the conclusion of every podcast, invite a friend, relative, enemy, associate to the next session. We don't care who you invite, who you share it with someone. Let's see if we can make the world a much a better place and a less mysterious place for all of us. Okay? Thanks. Take care. Bye.